Hello and welcome. Today we'll be talking about our senior project. I'm Sam Kratsas.
Hi, I'm Kate Cendrowski. With all of society's advances, seemingly infinite information is always available at our fingertips, but sometimes this information can be hard to visualize. Dr. Denise Kohn of Baldwin Wallace University came to us with the problem of being unable to analyze and visualize the vast amount of newspaper articles from early America to gather research information. More specifically, she is looking for articles that revolve around the ideas of marriage, free love, and divorce from 1850 to 1900. The problem we are looking to solve is figuring out a way to find as many relevant articles as possible and visualize them in such a way that Dr. Kohn can use it for her research purposes. In a more broad sense, we are trying to provide a method for scholars to use keyword searches of early American articles to provide a visualization that would be useful for them in their research. To accomplish our goal, we needed a database of articles, a way to go through this data using Python, and an easy-to-use web interface. We chose to use Chronicling America as our article database for a couple of reasons. First, because we could easily interact with it using HTTP calls, and second, because of its reputation as a part of the Library of Congress. In order to access data faster if it had already been retrieved in a previous search, we used a SQL database and pandas data frames to store and pass along the data. For the visualizations, we used Dash as the framework for an interactive web application, and Plotly to visualize the data.
On the back end, Sam has been able to successfully use Python to interact with the Chronicling America API to receive data from keyword searches. Once the data has been gained, it is then stored as a table for that specific keyword, and each row is an article result. The table is then put into an SQL database on a Baldwin Wallace server. Then, to pass the data onto the web application, the keyword data table is turned into a data frame that is passed forward. This process is modified to save time by having the application read directly from the table into a data frame if the keyword has already been searched before. This saves a large amount of time. Take a look at these diagrams. The large time it takes is due to the fact that we are gathering many articles from our 50-year time span. On the front end, Kate has been working with both Plotly, a Python library built for mapping and otherwise visualizing data, and Dash, a Python framework for building interactive online applications. The combination of Dash and Plotly works well here because Plotly helps to create clear and aesthetically pleasing visualizations of maps, and because Dash provides easy to learn but extensive options for creating web applications. Dash is also an ideal tool for the incorporation of Plotly visualizations, as Dash is built upon the Plotly framework. And now for a little demonstration of the actual program. On the right we have the code. This function just gets the results from the database, and then this gets points. This is the main function. It searches for the keyword in the database. If it's not in the database, it goes ahead and calls to Chronicling America API, and then it returns the year, the city, the state, and then that saves that into the database, and then that will be passed on to Kate. So now we're going to go ahead and run it, and I can show you how it works. So we'll be running this bridge boy down here on the bottom. So the table doesn't exist. So now it's going to call out to Chronicle America. And there we go. It took 8.9 seconds, and then these are all the records in the table. But now, so that would how long it would normally take for a short time, like 10 years. Obviously, it takes a lot longer for a longer period of time. But now if we run it again, table exists, so it took like a millisecond, and now it returns it instantaneously, so the user wouldn't have to wait even 9 seconds. So that's great. And now Kate will show you what happens with this data.
In this example, we are completing a search for the keywords boy and dog between the years 1850 and 1870. As you can see, the map for bridge and car is still visible, but the boy-dog map will overwrite it as the new search is run. For each map, when the user hovers their cursor over the points on the map, they are able to see the exact location of the articles that mention the keyword, as well as how many articles were returned per city per year.
At the time of creating this, there are still many things we are considering, mainly who our user is and how much freedom we want to give them. Ideally, we would like to give every individual access to our server with unlimited date and keyword searches, but this may be tiresome for our server, and without a login screen, our server could be subject to a bot endlessly searching it. One possibility could be to add a 4-digit code that never changes and that must be entered before a search begins. This code could be shared with any person but could alleviate the weight that the whole internet and bots could have on our server without it. Also, we are considering just how natural language processing could be used to improve the user's experience. This concludes our presentation of our senior project. Thank you and stay safe.